By now, we all know who killed Charlie Kirk. It was Tyler Robinson. He admitted on a text message. He admitted to his father. He admitted to the police. He killed Charlie Kirk because he felt that Charlie Kirk was spreading hate, and he had the opportunity to do it, so he did. And according to what we know, he acted independently, on his own. This should be a case closed issue, right? Well, no, this isn't a cut and dry issue. We've already seen people on the left like Jimmy Kimmel try to blame the shooter, Tyler Robinson, on MAGA, and we already know what happened to him. He got fired. But other people are trying to run another agenda, and that's Candace Owens. You see, Candace Owens is running many conspiracy theory plays on her channel. I'm not sure if she's doing it for views. I'm not sure if she's doing it to monetize Charlie Kirk's death. But for whatever reason, she's changing the narrative from Tyler Robinson is the killer to Israel is implicated in the killing of Charlie Kirk. Now stop the show. She's been sued many times for defamation and things like that. So she's not saying that exactly, but she is implying that Israel is acting somewhat as a deep state in the affairs of Charlie Kirk. And it's leaving it to the imagination of pissed off people on the right and MAGA that Israel had something to do with the stress of Charlie Kirk or even the murder of Charlie Kirk. And this is an ongoing thing on her channel. Look at episode 235. They are lying about Charlie Kirk, and that's Netanyahu. Charlie Kirk shooting suspect charge. Something isn't right. Episode 236. Who ordered the hit on Charlie Kirk? Candace. Episode 237. And all of these particular live streams have millions of views. One has 8 million, one has 5.1 million, one has 3.5 million. And then again, exclusive, another photo of Tyler Robinson. Candace, episode 238, with a picture of Prime Minister Netanyahu. All 4 of these videos could clearly indicate or cast doubt that Israel is somehow responsible some way for some kind of tragedy in Charlie Kirk's life. And she isn't the only one talking about the issues that Charlie Kirk had with Israel.
Charlie didn't hate Jews. He loved Jews. He had tons of friends who were Jews. He loved the state of Israel. He loved going there. He did not like Bibi Netanyahu, and he said that to me many times, and he said it to people around him many times. He felt that Bibi Netanyahu was a very destructive force. He was appalled by what was happening in Gaza. He was, above all, resentful that he believed Netanyahu was using the United States to prosecute his wars for the benefit of his country, and that it was shameful and embarrassing and bad for the United States, and he resented it. Didn't hate Netanyahu. He wasn't out there with a placard saying that, but he certainly expressed that to me and a lot of other people, and there's no question.
Now here's Tucker Carlson, and Tucker Carlson is talking about some of the private conversations he had with Charlie Kirk. Obviously, they had podcasted together, knew each other offline, and he's indicating here that Charlie Kirk didn't like Benjamin Netanyahu. Not that he disliked Israel as a whole, but for whatever reason, he thought that whatever Netanyahu was about was wrong, and ultimately he felt that what was going on in Palestine was wrong, although Charlie Kirk accepted money from Israel. And then there is Candace Owens discussing certain information to back up Tucker Carlson.
I'm being contacted by a lot of people that are telling me that just within 48 hours before Charlie passed away, his top Jewish donors were pulling funding from him, demanding that Charlie take their name off of the building that they had donated to Turning Point. I guess I can figure out who that is, how many people could have donated a building. And then once Charlie was killed, they said, never mind, put it back on the building. Okay. Charlie himself had alluded to a tremendous loss of money coming in.
Now, in the days before, or at least in some time before that Charlie Kirk died, Israel funders were saying, listen, we want to pull our money back from Turning Point USA. Okay. This is what they were saying. So there was a pretty big beef between him and people in the nation of Israel, all right, or at least in their private sector. But now, once Charlie Kirk passed away, they said, no, keep the money. It's okay. Don't take our names off the buildings. It's fine. Now stop the show. This is interesting because it does seem like it's guilty, right? It's like, why would you ask for somebody to pull the funding and then put the funding back once the person is dead? And again, this is interesting because Netanyahu came out and said all these nice words about Charlie Kirk. And maybe because Charlie Kirk has passed away, they no longer see him as a threat. But this is, in my opinion, what Candace Owens wants people to believe, all right? And then also the growing disgust that certain people on the right are having with Israel as a whole. Now, as you guys know, conservatives and the GOP almost always supported Israel. With younger conservatives, I'm talking about under the age of 45, this is something that is changing.
We have problems. In case you didn't notice, I think you kind of probably noticed. You go downtown, it's not so good. There's a lot of homeless people, deranged people, drug addicts, and violence. In fact, there's places you can't even go. It's so bad. There's places cops won't even go. Cops won't even go. We got our own problems. And it's like every time we turn our head, there's our politicians back in Israel. And then they come back here, and then they got another check from APAC. And then you log online, and it's 10,000s of these accounts spamming about how great Israel is. You're just like, good Lord, I'm an American. Why do I keep hearing about this stuff? So I think people are sick of it. And then this is where they kind of reach the higher geopolitical conclusion that, oh, all the enemies that I'm told I have are actually Israel's enemies. Boy, that's interesting.
This guy is saying, hey, this is interesting. We have many problems in the United States, hunger, joblessness, but yet Israel's issues take precedence over the issues that we have. We're funding them. All of the enemies that we have are somehow Israel's enemies. Boy, that's interesting. But then you get some pushback from people who just dislike the fact that Candace Owens is spreading this narrative.
She did a tweet. There's 10 million people, 10 million views who trust Candace. At what point are we going to say Candace gives opinions? Is the FBI? Is the CIA? Is anyone in the intelligence saying, we have credible evidence to find that Israel is at play here? Zero. This is Candace spouting on the internet. Right. And at one point are people going to be like, we just can't trust what she's saying.
So this guy is saying, listen, Candace Owens is out here saying everything. But when will somebody say, we just can't trust what she's saying? Then he makes his claim.
Last thing about Candace, and I look, every time I've hung out with Candace, I've enjoyed my time with Candace. I think she's cool. I think she's fun. I think she's gone down a deep, dark rabbit hole the last couple of years. That's my opinion. Her entire career, you can almost assess that it's Jews or very pro-Israel people that have put her on. And she slapped them all in the face. Dennis Prager, Dave Rubin, Charlie Kirk to an extent, Ben Shapiro on Daily Wire. They all gave her a platform. And then she just spits in all their face. And now none of them want anything to do with them. It's very reminiscent in a weird way of the U.S.-China relation. Who opened up the China's role in the world? In the World Trade Organization? Wasn't it Richard Nixon? Didn't Bill Clinton open up a trade organization with China? And now China is our biggest competitor? And they basically spew anti-American rhetoric and try to tear down American hegemony around the world? At some point, you would say this, we've said this in the podcast, have a little respect for what America's done for you. But now China has no respect for America. They want to tear down America. That is very symbolic of what Candace is doing to Israel and the Jewish community.
So basically he's saying, listen, Candace Owens, if it wasn't for somebody who was Jewish or pro-Jewish, she wouldn't have the platform that she has today. Like the Daily Wire really helped her out. And yes, Turning Point USA, it definitely took her to another level. This is absolutely factual. However, what the presenter is missing is that Candace Owens' loyalty is going to always be to white people, not Israel.
Woo!
And when the Daily Wire fired Candace Owens, she came back stronger than ever, which was a big setback to Ben Shapiro and the Daily Wire. And so it just goes to show how much if you really want to be honest, Candace Owens was having an issue with the Daily Wire a lot over the Palestine situation. Once she came back on her personal channel, even got demonetized, she's stronger than ever. What does that tell you about a lot of people in MAGA and how some of them may feel about Israel? However, we got to understand this. I honestly believe she's playing a dangerous game. Number one, the young man who was caught, Tyler Robinson, did not implicate Israel, okay? He never said anything about that. None of the text messages indicate Israel. He hasn't talked about it. The FBI hasn't talked about it. And I know people think that because the FBI is bought and paid for and Israel is, this particular state that has all power of heaven and earth. So, but we haven't heard that, okay? Candace Owens can't really prove this. This is the problem that she has with Macron's wife and calling people, saying things that she really can't prove. And so what happens is this makes her a target of, I would say some level of retaliation. And this retaliation doesn't have to be, violent or anything like that. If you look at what these conservative YouTubers are trying to do, some of these people are going against actual government, going against the country. All right. Candace Owens is not going to have the support of the president. She's criticized Donald Trump. She's criticized MAGA. Okay. And you're basically trying to implicate them in something that has something to do really with you. And this is what happens when a lot of times when blacks overstep their cultural boundaries. And I see certain people getting in too deep. Brother Brandon Tatum, in my honest opinion, is getting in too deep. Okay. He's already losing some motion with some of his audience and defending Israel. And then Candace Owens is also in too deep by criticizing it. If they would have put their efforts into trying to improve their own community, it wouldn't be like this. But they get paid to talk about their own community. And now you're out here when you should be worried about, Black America or Black people, because you're supposed to be Black conservatives, and they don't really need you to come out here and talk about this. There are people who are more qualified to speak on Israel or Palestine or to be a detective. Candace Owens is not a police officer. She's not the FBI. She doesn't have any kind of degree on law enforcement, so she doesn't know who killed what, all right? And then once you get in too deep and then you get another kind of wake-up call, then all of a sudden, you're down bad. And Black people, in my honest opinion, should be focused on issues that mind them, all right? That's why I never really speak on the Israel thing or the Palestine thing, because like I said, we have things in the Black world or the Black American community or whoever you are in the diaspora. We have opportunities there. Why are we worried about something that we can't control in the first place? And then when you get overstep your boundary, my fear is that Candace Owens, she's getting so much cockiness, and that eventually she's going to overstep some boundary where somebody is going to remind her that you're overstepping your boundary. And almost happened with Nick Fuentes. Nick Fuentes, she tried to come at him, and he was like, listen, the only reason why you're popping is because you're a DEI hire for conservatives. Woo! And again, this is a very dangerous game. I would warn any Black YouTuber, if you're in the Black space, you're a Black conservative, you start using that stuff, they don't need you. Anybody, Israel, Palestine, or America, talk about these issues. They have it figured out already. Okay, if you want to be a quote unquote Black conservative, worry about conserving your Black community and what you can do for it. Okay, so guys, what do you think? It's your boy Oshay Duke Jackson back at it again. Another episode of The Celebrity Drunk. I appreciate you for all you do. Screw the bell. We're out.